What's going on, everyone? So I want to make a quick video, just talking to you about designing a business that fits you. So I think in this day and age, a lot of the reasons why people want to get into business is because they realize the opportunity that there is in general. There's an opportunity that our parents never had, to really like control your life, take the freedom that you want, and so on and so forth, right? And a lot of the times, what we start by doing when we're evaluating what our opportunities are is we look at what are the things that we already know. So a lot of us know we have some sort of skill. Most people that are watching this channel, um, probably work in digital marketing, right? And so like, let's just, I know my handwriting is terrible, but just focus on the message. So you probably work in digital marketing, and like, so if we really like said, okay, well, what does digital marketing, like, what does it entail, right? There's a whole bunch of different things, right? So there's like, there's copywriting, uh, there's there's SEO, right? There's PPC, email, and let's just say like ads, other ads, whatever, creative strategy. And so we look at one of these skills that we've acquired, and we say, okay, well, I know ads, I know email, I know copywriting, so I need to like start an agency and help other people with doing this service. That's usually the first train of thought, because I'm getting paid at a job right now to do this when I could just do this for other people, for myself, and it makes a lot of sense because I'm doing this already. And the thing is that what this doesn't take into account is that when you're building this type of business, you're not going to be doing any of this because you're going to be focused on building the business, not doing the service. And so the stuff that you're going to have to do to grow, like a client based business that's completely relied on the service that you've learned, right? You're going to have to do you're going to have to do a lot of client acquisition. Client acquisition, right? You're going to have to do a lot of um, managing. I really can't spell today. Managing people. You're going to have to do a lot of networking, right? You're going to have to do a lot of process building. You're going to have to constantly check your P&Ls. I'm trying to like, whatever, like P-L, right? And so I guess the point I'm trying to make is there's so much more to getting into this type of business than just, right, like, than just doing the work. And you might find that you don't like doing this stuff. So then what happens when you realize that you don't want to do this? You don't want to do this, 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 and you don't want to do this. And the only reason why you started doing this in the first place is because you didn't understand the business model, and you also didn't understand yourself and how it would fit into your life. And let's say you're doing this already. Like, I mean, because to some degree, if you're working in a job where you're getting paid and you're doing this already, right, for other people at your job, now you have to stop what you're doing to duplicate the same thing. Like, it's not realistic. It's not sustainable if you're already doing this as a job. Now, if you're not in a situation where you're not doing this as a job, then you might have fun doing this because you're not already doing it. And so like, um, well, and when I say doing this as a job, I mean like doing the marketing stuff as a job, right? Not this stuff specifically. But like you might have more fun doing that stuff because you're not doing it already, right? And then you also don't equate for this. And so like that's the issue. The issue is that like you have to really understand the levers of the business that allows the business to grow. Roman, come here please. Stop barking. You're gonna destroy my video. Hold on guys. Sorry. Gotta move my dog from the window. He always likes to mess up my videos. Okay, so here's the thing, right? So now that you know this, right? Now you need to figure out like the business that you decide to do should be informed by what do you like to do to grow a business and what can you see yourself doing. So for example, for me, I realized that I don't like networking. I don't like having to go out of my way to like get clients to show my value and all this other shit. Like I don't like that. And the reason why is because I already know what I'm doing is valuable. I have proof that it's valuable. I've done it over and over again. I've gotten results over and over again. I don't need to, I feel like I shouldn't have to prove myself to anyone else. And when you start to go into this game of having to prove yourself and all this other shit, it annoys me personally, right? So I realized I'm only doing that. What I like to do, I'm like, okay, well, and I also don't like the forms of marketing that I would have to do for myself in that business. I don't want to go to any in-person events. I don't want to do anything like that. I want to sit at home and be able to grow my business in the way that makes sense to me because I'm introverted. So I like making videos, right? I like creating content, videos, and creating content. Now, I'm not saying that you can't make videos and create content and attract clients. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's a lot of nuanced stuff that you need to know about, different like stuff related to that, right? Like for example, I work with law firms and roofers. Creating content on the internet to get law firms and roofers, the types of ones that I want, doesn't make any sense because the people that I want are usually extremely busy because they have a lot of money and their business is already booming and they just want to scale it even more. They don't have time to go on YouTube and watch someone that's going to teach them how to do SEO, and they don't have time to be spending all this time on LinkedIn either, right? And so like for me, my ideal client is not on these platforms, at least what I think, right? And so like most of the time, again, the people that I would work with are super, super busy, right? Because my work is expensive. It's expensive because I'm good at what I do and I have a track record of producing results. So I know that this is not what I want to do, right? I know that I don't want to do that for that type of client. But I like making videos and creating content. I like teaching people how to become a better version of themselves. And I look at business as an avenue to do that. When you improve your business, business, so here's the thing. Here's my philosophy. Business is an external business is an external representation of you. And what I mean by this is that if you really want to know someone, you really want to understand how if you can tell a lot, you can tell a lot about someone by looking at their business because if internally they are not in a place where they should be mentally, their business is going to look like shit a lot of the times. Because most of your life, your entrepreneurship and your regular everyday life is tied together, right? It's not just like you're not doing one without the other. You're doing both because this is the means of how you make money and how you live, right? And so like when people try to separate these two things, I think it's a flawed way of looking at it. I really think that you can't separate them, right? Like life, and business, they both exist. They both exist together. Like, even though they're on two opposite sides of the spectrum, they're both contained in the same. They're both in the same container, like in the same barrier of life, and they intertwine with each other. It's like chaos and order, for example. Chaos cannot exist without order, and vice versa. Life cannot exist without death, and vice versa. Uh, Darkness can't exist without light. It's like it's inevitable. They have to exist together, right? And so, like, once you start to look at it like this, you realize that you need to build something around what you genuinely like. And if you don't do that, it's going to be hard. And so I like making videos and creating content. I like teaching people. I like teaching, right? I like helping people. I don't think that there's a better way to use your time than to help others, right? And like, so it made me come to this realization that what is important to me is building communities. Why? Because the actions that I have to take in order to, so let's just communities. The actions that I have to take to grow this, posting videos, on my philosophy, on business, and life, right? Literally posting videos on philosophy and business and life, which is what I'm currently living every single day. And then also making helpful content for you, right? Making helpful content. And then providing value in different forms. So, like, my skill set is marketing. I've made money from marketing in multiple different ways. I love business and I love becoming the best version of yourself. And so I tie those two things together with my philosophy. And I realize that I can help people become the best version of themselves through creating a side hustle or an online business that can provide them with the lifestyle that they want, which is and freedom and authenticity, right? And so, like, to me, the best business to do that is to be in the game of consulting just in general. And I look at consulting in many different forms because you have the DIY, right? Which is do it yourself, and that's like courses, ebooks. This is still consulting. You have DWI, which is done with you, and that's like coaching, community, right? So like all you'll see, and then you have DFY, which is like consulting, right? Deliverables. And like the thing is that I can do like you can do all of this, provide all of this value to people who really need it. They're more satisfied with the information that you're giving them as opposed to, getting some huge return on investment because a lot of the times when you're doing an agency business, the promise is that you're going to make this person more money. But sometimes it's hard to make people more money because there might be something about their business that just doesn't work. Or they might just be doing the same thing as everyone else. And if they're doing the same thing as everyone else, then how the fuck can you make it work? Like, how can you get them exceptional results? You can't. You can get them results, but exceptional results, what they want, is very hard for them to accomplish. And a lot of people don't understand this, right? But when you're working with someone who just wants information and they want community, it's a whole different experience. These people literally just are seeking, they're seeking, I gotta get better at writing on this, a transformation. That's it. That's all these people are seeking. So they just want to go from, this is the easiest, most simplest way that I can demonstrate this. They just want to go from this is where they're at, this is their current state, to this. That's it. This is all these people want. Maybe a fucking drink. Okay, that's not a good drink. But anyways, like, that's why this is so much, it's so much easier. Like, I know this about myself. I know that I prefer doing this. I know that I'm an introvert. I know that this is a better way for me to grow a business than committing to continuing the growth of this agency, which I'm still going to do, by the way, just because I know, because it's working, right? So I'm not going to stop something that's not working. But I also know that I'd be more fulfilled in going the second route. And so that's why I'm doing that now too. And so, like, I just wanted to make this video to talk to you if you feel like you're struggling with this, like you're trying to start a business and you're trying to start an agency for whatever reason, and like, maybe, like, so in the past, like, I've always preached that agency is good. You should build an agency. And I think you should still build an agency. But I think if you are somebody who has money coming in, then you don't need to go this path. You don't need to. Like, you don't need to do it just because everybody's telling you to do it. You don't need to do that. You can leverage your skills in other ways to make yourself money. And I think too many people get caught up in this trap. They get caught up in this trap in thinking that this is the only way. And they're afraid to deviate off of this. It's okay to deviate, guys. It's alright. So I hope you found this video valuable, and I'll see you in the next one.